Where was your dad?
He lived a couple hundred miles north.
So you guys talked and communicated here and there, but there was no real connection.
No, we did.
So you did connect.
Yeah. My dad, back then, he didn't realize that he had rights too. But I think he was also in his own selfishness.
So the amount of time that you spent in the chaotic, abusive environment where you have to be the protector, what percentage of that time were you in that environment versus the percentage of time that you were with your dad?
At that point, it was 90-10. It was abusive. It was like abusive how you would think abuse would be. I was playing baseball, trying to be a kid as much as I could, so I didn't know what they were doing. I just knew that they were doing it, and they were fighting, and that it sucked.
You had the relationship with your father, but like I said, there was no real consistent connection with your father where your father could protect you. Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
It's such a weird thing now because I've tried to have my kids all very close. I've always just tried to stay close and make sure that they had that security, like the security blanket that I didn't have. And that to me was a house that nobody could kick you out of. You know, like you didn't pay rent? Okay. That's always been a big deal to me.
So you had to be the protector for your brother through all these trials and tribulations. It's kind of like your energy.
And for my mom. And I remember this vividly. We didn't have a baseball bat when I was a kid, so I would take the mallet out of the closet, and we would go down and play baseball in the yard with a tape ball that we had taped up with the mallet and the tape ball. And I remember one night I woke up and she was screaming and somebody was screaming at her, and I remember sneaking downstairs and seeing a person on top of her choking her. And I remember going back upstairs and getting that mallet and sneaking downstairs behind the person. I didn't say a word to him, but I got to the very closest side of him that I could not hit my mom. And I swung that mallet as hard as I could to make sure that he got off of her. And I broke the mallet across his head. I don't remember what happened to him, but I do remember helping her out from under this situation. The thing is I don't remember if she was still with this person after. I don't remember what his name was. I don't remember why it happened. I don't know that I ever was explained that situation. But
So no stable male role model in your life.
I think she had a target type of guy, and back then she was still pretty. Life hadn't taken a toll on her, so she had people that were successful but didn't like the fact that she had kids. Almost every one of those relationships resulted in some sort of physical, verbal, or both abuse towards me.
So you would act out more.
Mostly because I didn't want them to hurt him. That's when I can remember stepping into the parent role, being that young and having to be the protector.
How's your brother doing now?
My brother was an addict for probably 10, 11 years. He's, like I said, he's a couple of years younger than me. I think he's 44 now. I mean, he's good. He's no longer an addict. He drinks beer, but that's about what he does. He works hard. He gives me kudos for pulling him out of it. I mean, addicts have to do that themselves, so he's the one that deserves that. He deserves the kudos for that.
Let's talk about your childhood.
My parents weren't married for very long. They have always been codependent addicts. They were married for a couple years. I remember up until then they would fight, like actually fist fight. One of my earliest memories of them together is hiding under the table, and my brother was just an infant at the time, and I might have been maybe 3, and they're just fighting, and it was like
Like throwing stuff or like physical, just
kicking the doors down, screaming, nasty stuff, black eye. Once I saw certain things, I just kind of turned away from it and turned it off. But I knew it was happening. My mom has never been able to regulate either. She didn't have a good upbringing.
So your mom's still in active addiction?
Yeah.
Just with prescription painkillers?
She is a functional addict, very removed functional addict.
So how old were you when your parents split? You said like you were 3 or 4, ends up having another relationship with your stepfather?
It wasn't like what you would think from a regular drug addict type situation. They were longer term, but still a couple of them.
And when you say anger, is it an anger that you're holding on to, like a resentment and unforgiveness, or is it an anger that is more like in the moment, impulsive, reactionary anger, or both?
I'd say it's frustration, resentment, and in the moment reaction. I think that my ability to self-regulate is not where it should be, and in a personal setting is not where it should be. And I'm terrible at communicating what I need to communicate with my wife and my children, specifically my boys. I think that they need to be a certain way. I'm trying to raise them to be a certain way, but I'm also trying to raise them to not be me.
When you say you want them to be a certain way, what do you mean by that?
Respectful, respected. I want them to work. I want them to not, for lack of a better word, be freeloaders. I see a lot of that these days, and it bugs the shit out of me. My 17-year-old and my 9-year-old are ADHD boys.
And the 3 boys are all from 3 different relationships.
The oldest boy is my stepson, and the other 2 sons are mine, but different relationships. Youngest is with my wife now.
When you say that you don't want them to be like you, what do you mean by that?
Mostly in my communication style, my release of anger, my inability to regulate.
So you don't want them to be like you now, not like you then, when you were a kid?
I don't want that for them either, and I feel like that's where I can give myself kudos, because I came from a different place that looks like night and day different. What I know is that I'm training and I'm raising and I'm bringing up generations after me. And the thing that sticks in my heart and in my mind is that I'm going to pass on generational father wounds to them. And that breaks my heart. I don't want that for them.